will we convert to Islam? Are we planning to convert to Islam? And the crazy thing is
absolutely insane. Like just radars going off.
Han meditation.
So we did want to tell you guys that we are actually fasting for Ramadan right now. So yesterday we did it. We no water, no food, no nothing. And then at, I think it was 7:33 was whenever the sun set. So that's whenever we started to eat again. But I mean, I want to tell a story because we weren't even a couple nights ago, the start of Ramadan. We were driving in our car. As I said earlier, we've been moving a lot of different stuff because we moved into a new house. So Kelly and I, we've been making trips back and forth because our old house is like 15 minutes away. It's not that far, but we just moved into a new construction place. It's very nice. It's comfortable. It's exactly what we want. So that's why we haven't been putting out videos like we usually do, because we've been in the process of moving. So
we missed 1 week of the podcast. So
yeah,
but we're back.
Yeah, exactly. So we're driving back and forth, and we just got a washer and dryer today. So we didn't have one. So we're using the one at my dad's house, which is about, it's not too far away from us, a couple cities over. So we're using that, but it was actually at like, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9, maybe 10 o'clock. It was at night, and we were driving down the road, and we actually were going to look at washers and dryers. And as we were driving, we seen the crescent moon in the sky. So just imagine you're driving, you see the crescent moon in the sky. And I looked at Kelly, I was like, wow, that actually looks like the symbol for Islam. Like it looks perfect. And it was almost like a sign from God telling us, like it was exactly like, it didn't feel like Allah himself was coming and telling us, hey, this is the start of Ramadan. It's time for us to be fasting. It's time to get closer with God. It's time to really take it to the next level. So it was just so crazy because we weren't even fully aware that was the first day of Ramadan. And then we got home, and Kelly, you want to say your part?
Yeah, so basically I was just looking at some of the comments on one of the recent videos a few days back. And someone mentioned it'd be really cool if you guys tried out Ramadan, tried out fasting, and kind of, did a video about your experience. I'm like, interesting. I wonder when Ramadan is. Maybe we'll try that out. So I look it up to see when Ramadan is this year, and it was literally the very day of the start of Ramadan. I'm like, whoa, it literally starts today. That's not expected. So we both talked about it, and I think it was a day I made him breakfast. And then I was going to make myself something, but I usually don't have as much of a big appetite when I first wake up. So I was like, you know what? I'm not even really that hungry. I'm like, you know what? I might try out fasting. He's like, I want to try out fasting. I'm like, all right, let's do it. Let's try it out.
Yeah, so almost like we didn't even realize it was the actual day of Ramadan.
Yeah, the very
start. We saw it organically because we were already like, let's fast today. And then that night we saw the moon, the crescent moon, and it was so beautiful. And it was like the perfect timing, the perfect message from God telling us that we need to fast and telling us what we need to do. So we are fasting right now for Ramadan. We're doing it with you guys. So all of you out there that are fasting, hang in there. You're stronger than you know. Your body is stronger than you know. And I want to talk about what Ramadan really means to us and what fasting is really about and what it means. So do you have any thoughts on that, Kelly, or do you want me to share what I think about it?
Yeah, I think it's just an interesting experience to just pay attention. It's almost like a form of meditation in itself because, you sit down to meditate and then you just automatically start being aware of those thoughts that come in. And so with the fasting, it's like you become aware of how many thoughts come in with food. And there was getting to points where my mind wanted to start tricking me like, oh, just go ahead, eat it. And one time I just looked in the pantry. I almost grabbed something before even knowing it. So it's just nice to bring awareness about how food kind of can control us and taking a step away from that and expanding our awareness so that we're not so attached to anything. And it's been nice. Yeah.
So the way that I see fasting and Ramadan in general is I see it like it's a metaphor for your entire life. Like it's not just about the food. It's not just about water. It's about everything. It's about getting closer to God and using that as a time to abstain and get away from negativity and get closer to God. So if you have people in your life that are negative, you need to remove yourself from those people. If you have people in your life who aren't on the same page as you, they're not thinking the same way, they're not loving God, they're not living for God as you are, then it's time to remove yourself from them and truly focus on yourself, because in the perfect world, you wouldn't need to fast. In the perfect world, you wouldn't need these times to get closer to God, but everyone is so busy on a day-to-day basis that this is the perfect opportunity and the perfect time to truly get closer, to take those steps, to actually be nicer, be giving to people, doing things that are going to make you feel good, they're going to make you feel closer to God and your higher self and your higher purpose. So that's truly what it's about to me. You have to truly remove yourself from all the negativity, all the bad situations, and be in synchronicity with God and with all that is, so that you can truly expand and grow from that experience. Because whenever you don't have food, whenever you don't have these things that you usually have every single day, if you have food, if you're a smoker, if you're a drinker, whatever it is, if you abstain from it, you're going to learn more than if you had kept on doing it over and over and over again. The whole process of it is to learn and grow with God. You should be getting something out of it other than just an empty stomach and thirst and wanting to drink and wanting to do smoking or whatever it is, your vice that you want to do during the day. You should be getting something out of this Ramadan. So everyone that's doing it, I want you to truly be thinking and truly know, what do I want to get out of this? I want to get closer to God. I truly do. I want to be praying more. I want to be in communication with God. I want to receive messages from God about my life. And if you're living in that way, and if you're being about it in that way and putting that intention into the universe and into God, God will answer and respond to you. So it's a beautiful process that you can allow yourself to respond to God. And we are just truly in a position right now where everything is happening in perfect timing and synchronicity as God is leading us from one thing to another, the next step, the next step, the next step. And it gets more and more fun the more you do it. So we're just so grateful for everybody that's listening and watching and truly enjoying us. I mean, it's just like, it can make me cry because this is what we've always wanted. And I've always wanted to be around people that believe in God and that trust God and that have a relationship with God.
And just believe in the same things as us, the same values as us, because it's a little tricky to find that these days. We have a very, I guess, nuanced, kind of traditional way of viewing things. Yeah. And it's just like all of you people commenting, it seems like we all think the same, and there's really no negativity. People always say, like, once you start getting more views, you watch out for the negative comments. I'm telling you, all of you people are so positive, and we're just truly grateful, because you may not even realize this channel started in 2020, August of 2020. And for a long time, there wasn't much traction, but Han was actually just doing it by himself, making guided meditations. And he always said, if I just help one person, that will make it all worth it. And eventually there was one person. Then there was a second person, and then the third. And these people would show up a lot in the comments. And it was very good and reassuring that, oh, wow, like there actually is a reason for this, because one person is watching and they say that it's helping them. So it's worth it. But we started doing, this style of video, podcast,
reaction videos, just reacting to all religions, and really on the search to find God in everything. So that's why we're looking at so much in Hinduism, and we've been looking at so much in Islam, because we just want to find out what, if you're not educated and if you don't know. Like, we didn't know anything really about Islam. We have a lot of friends that are Muslim, and we have a lot of people in our life, and we've been around it a lot. And it's really interesting because one of my friends, he's one of my best friends. I didn't talk to him for like a year. I've been so busy. He's been so busy. Next thing you know, I see it pop up on, Kelly saw it pop up on her phone on Instagram. He's married, and he's married to a beautiful woman, and she was in traditional Arabic garb, and they said they wanted to get married before Ramadan. And before I knew he was a Christian, so I asked him, I was like, did you convert to Islam? And at that point in time, he was like, yeah, I did convert. And he
Yeah.
was telling me, he's like, this is the one, this is the religion. And we just started talking about the different aspects of Islam. And I was able to share my experiences of what people have told me from the comments, what you guys have told me, and all the information that we've learned from the videos. And it was just such a humbling and awesome experience, because at the same time, whenever we're finding out about it, he's finding out about it, and he's
Right.
converting to Islam. And we're talking about how other religions, a lot of times, they're worshiping human beings, like whether it's the Pope or whatever it is, or priests or anything, you're worshiping a human being and you're deifying these humans. Instead of Islam, it's just one God, which is what we believe. We believe there's just one God.
Yes. And it's just been such an interesting ride. And I know there's much more for this journey to go. But originally, we're just trying out all different types of reaction videos. And I said, hey, why don't we try an Islam video reaction? And the crazy thing is, our biggest video right now is, what is it? 9 interesting.
The prophecies of Muhammad.
Well, no, the one that has 126,000 videos. It was the
believe that's
9 interesting
As soon as
facts.
I pick up my phone, 333. So
Guys, I tell you, this stuff happens all day long to us. Synchronicities, angel numbers. It's truly insane.
yeah.
But
So I believe it is. I'm looking right now. Exactly what I said. So.
no.
Oh no! I was wrong. The 9 shocking facts from the Quran.
Yes.
So this is about the science of the Quran. That has 126,000 views right now in the last 3 weeks. So that is what we've been.
Yeah, it wasn't the first Islam video we did, but it's the biggest thus far. But the crazy thing is, that exact video we watched and reacted to probably a little over a year ago.
Yeah, and it came out so bad.
Audio horrible.
Yeah, and that was before we were even taking notes, so I didn't remember like any of it. And it was
We were in a
just
different
like,
room.
yeah, and it was just a different time and space, and it was just
So
we couldn't even put the video out.
we didn't post
Because
it.
I was like, this is just a bad video. I'm not retaining any of the information. It's the audio quality is horrible. The video quality was horrible at the time. So we didn't even like get all the way through it probably. And I looked at the clip. I was like, nah, I just can't put this out. I mean, I'm okay with some things not being perfect, but this is just too far. So that's what happened in that phase of in that time. So if we would have put that out, it probably would have turned a lot of people off from the channel because it just wasn't good quality and it just wasn't a good video.
And it wouldn't have popped the way it has now.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
So then a year later, people start telling us again, and we're like, oh yeah, we should definitely watch that again because I don't even really remember what happened, and I just know that the video quality wasn't good. So we did that. And then it popped off, man. And you guys really have been pushing it and sharing it. So I can't stress enough how grateful I am for everybody that's sharing the channel, watching the channel, commenting on the video, giving it a thumbs up. I mean, it's just such a beautiful process seeing this and seeing our journey together. And we're all on this journey together. That's why we're doing Ramadan. We want to experience what it's like to go on this journey with you guys. So we want to visit a mosque. I'm going to go hang out with my friend who converted. I'm going to talk to him. If you guys think we're going to get the Quran, we're going to start reading the Quran because, and this is something I was saying with Kelly and with my friend, because the Quran is like one of the only texts that hasn't been tampered with. If you're really thinking about it, the Bible and all these texts, they've been written by so many people and rewritten over time.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a lot of passages that the government came in, or the Catholic Church, or whoever was in charge, the Romans, or whoever, and they said, oh, we shouldn't put this part in the Bible because this is talking about the government and how they can, put tyranny over you or whatever and control you, and you should look out for them. Let's take that out. Let's take this part out. Let's take this secret out. Let's take that secret out. So if you actually look at a Bible that's hundreds of years old or even thousands of years, the translation is going to be completely different. But if you look at the Quran, to my knowledge, it's the same text. So it hasn't been meddled with and tampered with and just changed over and over. It's the same text written by one person.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Not to mention written by who knows how many different people have written one of the Bible chapters. I mean, I know the Matthew, Mark, Matthew, Mark, John, all those, of course, they wrote that chapter themselves, but there's many other chapters. I couldn't tell you who wrote those chapters, honestly.
Yeah, and it's just so interesting to think about because it's just almost like God saw what was going on with Christianity at the time, and there was they started worshiping all these different deities and things, and even Jesus himself, Jesus never said worship me. He was just saying I'm the Son of God. He didn't say worship me. I don't even know if he said that, but I believe we're all like the sons and children of God. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if he said any of that, but imagine if you're Jesus and you come down and you start telling people about God and you want to show people that, you can get resurrected and there's life after death and then you die and then everyone starts worshiping you like a God. You'd be like, dude, that's not what I envisioned or wanted. And then people are killing in your name and, just the Pope becomes a thing where people start worshiping the Pope, dude. Crying. I mean, it's like... It really is a little weird when you start to think about it. Like, I don't have anything against it. Of course, people can do what they want to do, but I can see how God would come in and be like, just make some revisions and say, this is what I actually, wanted. I
mean, that's the same with the text called A Course in Miracles. I'm not sure if any of you have heard of it.
Yeah, we love the Course in Miracles.
But this was written in the 80s, I believe, and is a very similar way where this woman, a professor from Columbia University in New York City, she wasn't getting along with this other professor. They kind of butted heads. But she just had this weird thing that kept happening. She would wake up in the middle of the night, and it just seemed like a voice. And this voice kept coming up and kept coming up. And her and the professor that they didn't get along too well, they started talking. He's like, well, you know what? Why don't you just talk it out and I'll scribe. And so they worked together because we all know how God works. It makes things happen in unexpected ways, mysterious ways. They would have never expected to work on a side project together, but they did. And it created this huge volume of text. And it's actually meant to be channeled from Jesus, Yeshua. And it's one of those things where you're like, is it really? But when I hear about things like this, to me, if you read it and it's truly resonating, it's like the most truth you could ever hear. Mm-hmm. The text speaks for itself. Yeah. You read it and you're just like, oh, wow, that's incredible. This is eye-opening. This is so true. I resonate with it. So it's a really beautiful text.
Yeah, and I truly believe that came from God or Jesus or the higher, realm. Yes. So because that is basically what happened, with Muhammad. He was a channel. He was a prophet, a channel, and he was just able to channel information straight from God. Mm-hmm. So that's a talent that there's people that have that. And when I do my meditations, it comes from God as well. So I'm not going to go as far as to say I'm like, Jesus or Muhammad. I haven't had any prophecies or anything, but it does come from God and it is a skill. So it is an awesome thing, but we get messages from God all the time. And if you don't know, that's what happened during my journey where I was in the hospital and an actual miracle happened where they told me I had to go on dialysis for over 2 years. Yeah. I mean, for years I was on dialysis. They told me my kidneys weren't going to work. They were going to fail. The entire time I kept getting closer and closer to God. The entire time I was getting messages from God. Kelly was doing Reiki healing on me. She was getting messages. They were telling us exactly what to do to, take this tea, do this, do that. You should be praying. You should be getting closer to God. Jesus came in a message at one point and was saying, you're not close enough to God and you're not close enough.
You're not trying to work with me through this journey, really.
Exactly. So then we're like, oh, wow, that's actually true. Like, I do need to get closer to God and I do need to.
And that cross.
Yeah,
get
closer. There's just so much crazy stuff that happened between us in that period of time. Where it became just more about God. It wasn't about the universe. It wasn't about spirituality. It was about just straight up God. because that is the highest and most powerful form that there can be. It's just God. So, and that's whenever things get to become more fun, whenever you're experiencing and you're being with God, because you're not playing with these lower level, creatures or, deities or that people call or whatever. You're with the highest level of creation, which is God. So,
yeah. And with the deities and these things, I do believe that you can work with them and it can be beneficial. But I think that when you do kind of open yourself up to these realms, that it can also go bad, because you might accidentally open yourself up to a bad energetic being. So we personally have never been into that. We like to go straight up to the source that can only be good, can only be light, God. So we are into that.
Yeah, I don't get into the deities and all these other beings and fairies and creatures and whatever. I just believe that everything is God, and the concept of Ishvara, which was brought to our attention from Hinduism, I really like that concept that everything is God, because there can only be God because God created us all. So there's only one God who created us all. So we're all a part of God. We are not God. We are a part of God because God created us as his creation. So that is what I personally believe. And it's just so refreshing to see people that love God and are on the same page as us. And, like how people always comment and say Kelly's pretty and she dresses nice and modest. And it's just so heartwarming to see that. And we really appreciate that, guys. So keep the positivity going. So, Kelly, what else is going on in our life? We're moving. How's the movement going for you?
It's nice. It's really nice and refreshing to be in a new place because, again, just synchronistically, all of these things happen at once. Like, we knew we wanted to move at some point during this year, probably planned more for like early summer, late spring. But we started looking around the start of the new year throughout January, many, many different places to check them out. And then we didn't know when the whole health journey was going to come to an end and officially be off dialysis. We didn't know. Everything was in the hands of God. We knew it would happen at the perfect timing, but it turned out that the place we moved into, essentially, it's new construction, and they are townhouses basically, and some are ready now, but they had more coming. So we were like, well, maybe if the new ones are going to be done when we had in mind, April, May, maybe we'll move into those. So we asked them and they said they wouldn't be until July, August. And it was one of those things where it's like, we could wait or we could do it now. And, it's something we slept on, something we talked about. And it just felt like all of the energy, because in February is when all of the health journey came to an end. And February is when we got ready to move on March 1st. And it was just like, it felt like a water spigot was just finally exploding out. And then also that's when our channel has begun truly growing, and all these things happening at once. And so when you feel that and energetically what you're being pushed towards, and it's saying now, move quick. Now is the time of change. Things have been kind of slow and stagnant and the same. I mean, literally in the same place, because dialysis, you have to be connected to the machine all night long or go into the center. But we're going to do a video talking more all about our journey with that. But
yeah, so essentially it was, like I said, once you start meditating, once you start praying, whatever your form is, to get a higher vibratory plane around you. Because whenever I'm meditating, I'm really like praying. I'm really saying positive affirmations. I'm really connecting to God. I'm really getting in that higher realm of reality. So once you keep doing that, you basically start to develop psychic abilities where God is going to be able to contact you more easily and effortlessly. And it's not always just direct words. It's very rarely direct words, but you start getting nudged in that direction where things started to happen around the house, where we started to notice, hey, we have to get out of here. We got to get out. We got to get out. We got to get out. And then whenever we got out, I mean, I saw almost every angel number possible on our phone, just looking at the clock. Oh, insane. It's 10:10. It's 11:11. It's 10:23. It's 12:21. It's 1:11. It's 1:23. It's 2:22. 3:33. 4:44. 5:55. Just over and over and over. And then at night again, 10, 10, 11, 11, 12, 12. It was like absolutely insane. Like just radars going off, just like, yeah, this is the right thing. This is the right thing. Keep doing this. Keep doing this. Keep moving quick. Keep moving quick. Because God likes you to move quick. God doesn't like you to just take your time with things.
If the opportunity window opens up and you can tell he's really started a new path for you and a new opportunity for you, then yes, because sometimes we do have to be patient.
Yeah, because there's times where you have to learn the lesson of patience. But there's also times where you have to learn the lesson of go now.
Exactly.
Because certain people always procrastinate. They take too long. I hate when people take too long doing things. So that's why I have had to learn patience with a lot of things as well. I've learned a lot of those lessons. But at the same time, a lot of times it's let's go now. Don't wait. Don't wait around. Don't miss the opportunity. If it's there for you, you can't miss it. So I don't believe in missing it, but just don't wait around because you have free will. So the opportunity will always come around again, but sometimes it's just good to just go right now, move out, spread your wings and start flying and flying and flying. And that's what happened to us. We seen it where it was kind of like we had to get out. We got out. Now everything has been so good and so great that's why it's so perfect that Ramadan happened as it did. And we saw the crescent of the moon in a perfect amount of time because it was getting to the point where we were so busy moving everything that we didn't have time to really truly focus on God and focus on gratitude and giving. I mean, obviously we're always on that vibratory plane and we always like to give and help and focus on God, but you really want to make an effort to do it. So when Ramadan came, it's perfect timing because it's like, now we have the perfect time to really just put forward that effort and that time to focus only on God, only on helping, only on cutting out everything of our life that doesn't need to be there. All the junk food, all the junk, all the trash, all the negative people, anything that doesn't need to be there, you cut it out right now and you focus only on God.
Yeah, it's really perfect timing for us. And an interesting thing that we saw also that started on the very first day of Ramadan is Andrew Tate, who also converted to Islam. We noticed that he was arrested the very first day of Ramadan this year, a few days ago.
Yeah, which is absolutely crazy.
We don't think there's a coincidence to that.
No, I don't think there's a coincidence at all. I mean, I hope he's doing well. Hope they free him. I saw they're trying to arrest him on charges from like 12 years ago of sexual aggravation. I don't even know what that even means, to be honest with you. So I don't know. I can tell when people are in a good place, and I can tell that Andrew Tate truly does have a good heart and does want the right things. Is he perfect? No. Am I perfect? No. Are you perfect? No. But I do not believe at all that he hurt any women or definitely did anything wrong with them and forced them to do anything they didn't want to do. So we definitely hope that he's doing all right. And we want to see him out because the world needs a presence like that. You don't need everyone to think the same way. If people are thinking different thoughts, great. And Andrew Tate did so much for Islam as well, spreading the word of God. I mean, him and his brother's a Christian, he's a Muslim. They've done so much to spread the word of God that it's just crazy because it was almost like a time where no one was even talking about God anymore.
Yeah.
And now you kind of see a shift where people are going to be craving that connection to God. People are going to be looking for that connection for God, as we have always been looking for the connection to God, and we have the connection of God, but we're always looking to find more facets, more layers, more understanding of who God is and what God is about.
Yeah, I mean, let's just see it for what it is. There's clearly an agenda in the Western world to get people away from God, to get people away from traditional values, traditional
family values.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they want us just living here in a cuckoo world where anything can be right. You can say whatever you want. You can
left
be
is right,
whatever
right is left. You can do whatever you want, be whoever you want. They want to get you to the point where you see something and they tell you that it's something else.
I mean, truly
you see
living
an apple
in delusion.
and they tell you it's an orange, and that's what it is, and you have to call it an orange, and that's the only way. And that is truly a psyop, and that's psychologically messing and programming your brain so that they can now tell you it doesn't matter because you can't even trust your eyes anymore. They don't want you to be able to trust your eyes. They don't want you to be able to trust what you see, what you hear, what you feel, anything. They want you to just believe and trust what they tell you to do.
Oh, absolutely.
So we really are living in the end times, and we are getting to that point where there will be a war. And the more we look into the way that Islam describes the end times, how there will be a war against the Muslims, it's kind of,
I think we're here.
I mean, it's kind of getting there because, I mean, you rest Tate on Ramadan. I mean, and then it's like, Islam is like the only religion that really still has its core values. I mean, it's like Christianity does, and there are sects of people and diehard Christians. Of course there are.
Yeah.
And same with other religions,
yeah.
No matter what it is. But if you're Muslim or whatever, you don't play that kind of stuff. I mean, I've seen churches of like Beyonce, like churches of Taylor's. I mean, it's like, what is going on? That should never be a thing. I don't care if you're worshiping with your music. I don't care what you're doing. She doesn't make gospel music. It shouldn't be about Beyonce or Taylor Swift or anybody for that matter.
Yeah. And it's like you have to stand for something or you'll fall for anything. And especially during a time where if it's a serious spiritual warfare going on, you have to stand for what you stand for or you will fall for anything.
Yeah.
And so
absolutely.
like I know Andrew Tate was saying that he started off with a lot of respect for Islam.
Yeah.
And I feel just the same.
Yeah, that's how we are now. He's like, he started off with respect for Islam, and then he got to the point where he just converted because the more he learned. And I always wondered, like, why do people convert to Islam whenever they go to prison and all that? And it's because they're just searching for God.
Yeah.
And they find God. And Islam is all about God. It's not about other people. It's not about other things. It's just about God. So that actually makes a lot of sense to me whenever I start seeing it. And before I didn't know, now I know, oh, this is why people convert to Islam, because it's all about God. And there's actually certain religions you go to, if you go in the church of Beyonce, you won't find God there. It's not going to be the same feeling as if you were to go to Mecca, if you're going to go to a mosque or a real church in Romania or somewhere that doesn't play around. That's whenever you can really feel the presence of God.
Yeah, because, you have to have these rules, kind of like rules and regulations to live by, or chaos will happen.
Absolutely.
And because we're humans, we're not created to be perfect. We're not created to be just like God. We have just as much capabilities to go on either side of the spectrum, as we learned with our reaction video with, what was it called? I can't remember.
Yeah,
sorry,
we did.
Guys, we watch so many videos these days.
Yeah, we did a reaction video the other day.
Good.
It was with
the one everyone kept requesting. What is the meaning of life? I think.
Yeah, by Jeffrey Lang, I believe.
Yes.
Yep.
Purpose of Life.
The Purpose of Life by Jeffrey Lang.
Correct.
That was. If you guys didn't see that, you guys need to go and check that out. That was just phenomenal.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that.
God purposely made us to be able to go bad or evil or basically imperfect and allow that spectrum of reality to exist on earth so we can experience a wide range of things. So, when we get our human mind in control, it can go down that way.
Yeah.
But that's why you have to leave things pure to God, because it will always go the right way. So like we're at the point now, we don't really have much expectation in life. I mean, we do, of course, but you know what I mean? Like we are so just leave things up to God now, because there's basically no point in trying to control your life.
Yeah, and that's just basically just a trust in God. And throughout the journey that I had, I truly had to put all of my faith and trust in God. And a lot of people don't know what that feels like.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for the whole experience to literally feel like you are going to die if you do not put all of your faith in God. And once I put my faith in God, a miracle happened. That's what people have to realize. So whenever you see me, I want you to know that I put all of my faith in God. The doctors, nobody believed in me except for Kelly. No one believed in me. Of course, my family and her family, but I'm just talking in general terms. No one there believed that I could heal. The doctor told me repeatedly, no, you cannot. I put my faith and my trust in God and God alone. Yeah. In my full faith, my full trust, and said, I don't care what happens. I don't even care if I die right now. I put all of my faith, all of my trust in God in this moment. And once I did that, miracles happened of the likes that no one has ever experienced before. I mean, shocked. You should have seen the look on my doctor's face. Complete shock, utter shock. But we knew it the whole time because God was telling us the whole time through messages, through everything that we've been doing. God has been telling us. So I put my faith in God. I put all of it in God, and God has rewarded me with a miracle because I believe that God resides within me. And there can only be perfection where God resides. That is why I love to learn about God. I love to be surrounded by people that believe in God, that love God. If people don't believe in God and love God, I don't even want them watching my channel. Mm-hmm. That's how crazy it is. Like, I want people, of course, I don't care. I want everyone to watch my channel, even if you don't, because maybe if you do watch it, then you'll start to believe in God and love God. Yes. Because God doesn't care if you believe in him or not. Because God is here. So you're just fooling yourself if you don't believe in God. What I'm saying is I'm just trying to make a point that I want people around me that believe in God, because those are the people that stand for something. Those are the people that are going to have your back. Those are the people that believe in something. Mm-hmm. If you don't believe in God, what do you believe in? Because you're worshiping something. If you're not worshiping God, what are you worshiping? Because I promise you, you're worshiping something. Whether it's your phone, whether it's Instagram, whether it's the stars, whether it's whatever. You're worshiping something, a celebrity, Taylor Swift, a sports player. It doesn't matter. You're worshiping something or someone that is a false idol. And there's too many false idols. That's why I loved in the story of Muhammad that we heard about when he went to Mecca. He destroyed, I believe it was 11 or 13 or something, different false idols. He destroyed them and told people there's one God, and brought people back to the one God, because they were messing around with these creatures, with these deities, instead of going to the straight source of God.
Absolutely. It's really all about that surrender. Once you do fully surrender to God, it's just like life becomes a fairy tale, because what God can do for you in your life if you let him, like, it's honestly like making tears in the back of my eye right now. It's just the most magical thing, and you don't have to worry. Like, you just know it's all going to get handled, and he's going to work it all out for you in a way better way, more magical way, more exciting way than you can come up with.
Than you could have even imagined.
Exactly. You can come up with it. And I think the surrender, sometimes people get a bad rep if they don't really like religion, and they think it's like God wants to control us and all these things, but it's not. Because, and I like the Course in Miracles because it's always talking about the ego. Yeah. And basically,
check that out, guys.
Essentially, it's just saying the ego is our own devil, pretty much. Just our own selves can be our own demise, because again, like we saw with the video, with the purpose of life, inside of us exists the full spectrum to go bad, to go good, to go God, to go devil. And we can go anywhere along that spectrum with every decision we make, with every day of our lives. So by us giving up the surrender to God, we're not letting our ego be in control anymore, because we have this free will here. So if we want to have our ego fully in control, God will let us. If we want to have our ego 10% in control, God will allow us. He's not going to step in over our free will. Yep. But when we fully surrender, that's when all the beauty happens, because we're getting rid of that ego. We don't want it around here. Trust me, you don't want your ego.
Yeah, and that's why I tell people to, number one, like Kelly said, surrender to God, but also don't have any insistence or resistance on what you want. Don't say, I didn't sit there and say, I have to heal no matter what. I have to heal. Number one, I'll tell you what I did. I already walked around as if I already was healed, because I don't even believe in sickness itself. Therefore, I am already healed in every aspect that I do. I'm already doing everything that I would do if I was healed. You can't just walk around and say I'm healed, but then you're saying, oh, I'm going to wait to work out. I'm going to wait. Because I did that at first. Oh, I'll wait till I get off. Then I'll start working out hard and going to the gym. I said, no, you know what? I had to correct myself. That's incorrect. What I'm going to do and what I need to do is I need to start working out right now, because guess what? If I was truly healthy, I would be doing that. So if you want to manifest and be a millionaire or billionaire, you have to act as if you already are one. So if you were a millionaire, would you just be laying around the house being lazy? No, you'd be getting to the bag. You'd be working. You'd be making calls. You'd be making it happen.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to act in that way. You have to dress in that way. Everything you do has to correlate back to that original goal, whatever it is. And then you give it up and leave the rest to God.
Yes.
You act accordingly and you give the rest to God to handle, because God is in control of the miracles. They can do it. And for me on my journey, Jesus and God helped me astronomically. And I see Jesus truly as my brother. Mm-hmm. And I see God as my father. And that is how I truly believe it should be.
Absolutely.
And it's just such an awesome and beautiful journey we've been on, learning about all this, because I didn't even know in Islam that they believed that Jesus was a prophet and that he will come back in the end times and that he is connected to God and all that. That's a beautiful thing, because that's basically what I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just been really cool to learn. There was so much I didn't know. I know a bit about like the culture, because I had friends, you know, I had a friend who got engaged and she had her party. I think it was called the Khutbah. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, please correct us. Yeah, please, please correct us.
So I don't know. I have always kind of enjoyed experiencing different cultures, and I always thought that was cool. But as far as the religion, pretty much knew nothing. So it's been a really interesting ride to learn, and for us to learn about Jesus was in there, and even, you know, the Quran talks about Mother Mary and sees her in high regards too. So
really?
I remember, because the greatest woman. We should do a video.
Yeah, we should do a video about that, because man, it's just such an awesome and crazy experience. But yeah, we had a lot of Muslim friends. I wrestled with a lot. I played sports with a lot of Muslim people at our school. There's so many. And where we live, there's a big Muslim community, and it's really awesome. And we would always just learn, certain Arabic words like inshallah, wallah, mashallah, habibi, words like that. People say them all the time. Mm-hmm. So it's just an awesome experience learning about it and truly actually putting in the work now to where we can understand the religious aspects of what's going on and the mechanics of it. So
I say all that to say, when it comes to letting God take the reins, because will we convert to Islam? Are we planning to convert to Islam? Hey, honestly, right now, I really don't know. This whole journey, we just truly leave it in the hands of God, because he's going to lead us to what we are meant to do. I'm not saying we will. I'm not saying we're not going to right now. I don't know.
All I know
really don't know.
I mean, it's just how they correct me if I'm wrong, but they believe that everyone is born a Muslim, believing in one God. You believe that Jesus was a prophet, that he came, he's going to come back, that all that stuff, it's the same God. I mean, that's what I believe. Mm-hmm. And we're practicing Ramadan. We're learning about the religion. Like Kelly said, I'm not saying I'm going to convert. I'm not saying I'm not going to. I'm just learning as much as I can. Yeah. And the more I learn, the more I like it. So
Exactly.
So it's really awesome and very inspiring, and we're truly grateful. I mean, really, really grateful, guys, for you, all of you, to be here. And I just keep showing this right here because if you go to the community tab on the phone, you'll see that I posted this, and then, you know, people keep commenting videos. So we do check on this list whenever we go to film. We check the list and we see what are people going want us to react to, and then we go ahead and we react to that. So the last one, I'm looking at the ring composition. We did that one.
Yes.
And Sarah, we did that one. Prophet series, we need to do that. We have to do the Prophet series. And there's just a lot of cool ones that we're going to react to, and we're learning so much. We're going to start reading the Quran, and let us know if you guys want us to go live. So if you made it this far to the end and you're hearing it and you let us know you want to go live, maybe we should probably do a giveaway or something too.
Oh, yeah.
We should definitely do some kind of giveaway. So
We should.
thank you guys so much. We appreciate you. Have a happy and pleasant Ramadan. May peace be upon you all. We love you all. We're so grateful for the experience to be here, and we'll see you
In the next one.